Recognize the author of this measure. It is Mr. John Hall of New York, the sponsor, the original sponsor of the bill, whom I commend very much and recognize for 2 minutes.
Gentleman from New York is recognized for 2 minutes.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I rise today to urge strong support for H.R. 5609, which will ban lobbying for countries that are state sponsors of terrorism. Last week, the House passed the Disclose Act, a bill I co-sponsored. This bill is a big step forward in undoing the damage done by the Supreme Court in their recent ruling in Citizens United versus FEC. It will shine some light on the corporate campaign spending by requiring the sponsors of political ads to disclose their identity, much as we, candidates for Congress, have to stand by the ads that we fund. Importantly, the Disclose Act includes provisions I fought for to keep corporate money from overseas out of U.S. elections. After all, Mr. Speaker and Mr. Chairman, do we want companies like BP choosing our candidates for Congress, or companies from Saudi Arabia deciding U.S. foreign policy? I don't think so. The bill we are considering today is a natural extension of the Disclose Act. H.R. 5609 guards against a potential loophole that hostile foreign governments may use to try to influence our government. By hiring a lobbyist in the United States, a government like Iran could potentially influence U.S. foreign policy, a danger with potentially disastrous consequences. And this, Madam Speaker, is a reason we cannot afford, a risk we cannot afford to take. I think we can all agree, regardless of political party, that American elections must be decided by American voters, and U.S. policy must be decided by the U.S. government. I would also add that this provision is much tougher than the minority's motion to recommit. That motion would have only banned certain activities by lobbyists for states that sponsor terrorism. This bill bars such lobbying altogether. And secondly, the motion to recommit was clearly unconstitutional and destined to be struck down. The minority's proposal would have allowed the government to prohibit an American citizen from making campaign contributions or independent expenditures on his or her own behalf on the basis of a business contract. This would have clearly violated this amendment.
Is recognized for an additional minute.
In contrast, H.R. 5609 is constitutional. These foreign countries have no First Amendment rights. I urge my colleagues to support H.R. 5609 and reserve the balance of my time.
Gentlemen.